Another newly released Justice Department document includes a claim that Donald Trump flew on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet in the 1990s on a flight where the only other listed passenger other than Trump and Epstein was a then 20-year-old woman. The allegation appears in a 2020 email from a senior federal prosecutor at the Southern District of New York. It surfaced in this latest document dump related to the Epstein files. And according to this email, which we're going to look at in a moment, flight records show Trump traveled on Epstein's plane many more times than previously reported, including during the period that prosecutors were specifically looking at to say who needs to be charged here, what exactly do we need to charge Ghislaine Maxwell with. And there is a 1993 flight that is particularly notable. The email says the passenger manifest lists 3 people: Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump, and an as of now unnamed 20-year-old woman. Now, on other flights, the record suggests that women who later would have been potential witnesses in the Ghislaine Maxwell case were also on board the plane. Now, to be clear, and if nothing else, I've been extremely cautious here. The documents do not state that the 20-year-old that Trump flew with was the victim of a crime. And being named in an Epstein-related file does not itself establish criminal wrongdoing. I've made that clear just about every time we talk about this. But we have to acknowledge that this disclosure does directly contradict years of Trump minimizing his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. He flew alone with Epstein and a 20-year-old. That is not, I bumped into him and 150 other people at a fundraising event. And the context really matters here because Maxwell was later convicted after the death of Jeffrey Epstein and sentenced to 20 years in prison for helping to recruit and abuse underage girls. A 20-year-old is not underage, but it is a very young woman flying alone with Trump and Epstein. What would be the circumstances of that is very weird. Now, it could completely be the case that even if this 20-year-old was subsequently a victim, which we do not have the evidence to say right now, that this 20-year-old was victimized only by Epstein and not Donald Trump. So to be clear, I am not alleging that this 20-year-old was a victim at all or a victim of Trump. But Trump flying alone with her and Epstein suggests a much closer relationship than Trump has acknowledged. Now, throughout his campaigns and his presidency, Trump has repeatedly vowed, we're going to release all of it, until it started to look like something he might be able to do. And then he started kind of stepping back, minimizing the importance of the files, minimizing his relationship with Epstein. And then as the files have started to come out, we see that that important through line that Trump has claimed seems not to be true. Now, we have a letter from DOJ emails from 2020 that are alerting unknown redacted recipients that Trump actually flew on Epstein's plane many more times than we are aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. Now, we're going to put the email up here. We don't know who sent this. We don't know who it was sent to. But why are these individuals being alerted and why are names being redacted? The letter reads, for your situational awareness, wanted to let you know that the flight records we received yesterday reflect that Donald Trump traveled on Epstein's private jet many more times than previously has been reported or that we were aware, including during the period we would expect to charge in a Maxwell case. In particular, he is listed as a passenger on at least 8 flights between 93 and 96, including at least 4 flights on which Maxwell was also present. Remember that Trump has previously been asked about Ghislaine Maxwell and basically acted like he doesn't know her and he wishes her well. Remember that infamous moment? I don't really know anything about her, but I wish her well. We have records that Trump was on at least 4 flights with Ghislaine Maxwell. Private planes, not like a 747 where Trump might have been in the first row and Ghislaine was in the 50th row. No. Epstein's private plane. The email continues. He is listed as having traveled with, among others, and at various times, Marla Maples, his daughter Tiffany, and his son Eric. On one flight in 93, he and Epstein are the only two listed passengers. On another, the only three passengers are Epstein, Trump, and then 20-year-old, name redacted. On two other flights, two of the passengers, respectively, were women who would be possible witnesses in a Maxwell case. We've just finished reviewing the full records, more than 100 pages of very small script, and didn't want any of this to be a surprise down the road. Who is this being sent to? Who is being notified about this? And remember, Trump barely knew Epstein, but he once flew on the plane with just Epstein and a 20-year-old, and he once flew on the plane with just Epstein. Now, the rhetoric that we have been hearing from the right on this issue has fueled a lot of conspiracy theories within the MAGA base, and it has positioned Trump as a champion of transparency. Trump got back into office. That commitment to transparency certainly diminished. And after Trump signed a law mandating the release of the remaining Epstein-related documents, his own Justice Department has worked actively and proactively to cover up a bunch of this stuff. There has been a sharp reversal here. Now, all along, I have urged caution, and I've said, if and until we have evidence that Donald Trump victimized someone, committed a crime, etc., we should not say that he did. But what we can say now is that Trump has been extraordinarily dishonest in terms of his relationship and ties to Jeffrey Epstein. It was more than just we would see each other in Florida. It was more than just he was a member of my club, but I kicked him out when I found out he was a creep, which, by the way, is untrue. This really deepens our skepticism of Trump as an innocent bystander. And at minimum, these newly released flight records raise real questions about why Trump has never cleanly answered. Have you flown with Epstein? How often? How many times? Who else was present? Why are your ties to Epstein way more extensive than you've admitted for years? And so the most politically explosive revelations thus far, and we are still getting more of them, they aren't about secret enemies, strange bedfellows, hidden lists. It's about Trump's direct relationship with Epstein. The DOJ has launched damage control. Trump is melting down on Truth Social. All of that is coming up. We'll also have more of this on my daily newsletter, which I hope you'll sign up for. If I'm honest, I would love it if you signed up for it. And you can do that at substack.davidpakman.com. A lot of people think they have a handle on their finances. Then they look at the numbers and realize something's not adding up. And that is where our sponsor, Rocket Money, comes in. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that shows you the full financial picture in one place: spending, subscriptions, upcoming bills, paydays, so things don't slip through the cracks. One thing I like is how clear the dashboard is. You can see where your money's going. You can spot subscriptions you forgot about. And if there's one you don't want anymore, Rocket Money will help you cancel it with just a few taps. You can also set up custom budgets based on past spending, and it just makes it easier to stay on track. Rocket Money will even try to negotiate lower bills for you by scanning for savings opportunities and talking to customer service on your behalf. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, including over $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. Each of their 10 million members saves up to $740 a year when they use all of the app's premium features. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster. Go to rocketmoney.com/Pakman. The link is in the description.